Continuing on with 1.3 notes, communicating with graphs, we're going to go over some examples of bar graphs and pie charts today. So to start with bar graphs, they compare quantities by comparing the heights of the bars. So it's easier to compare the different numbers by looking at the height of the bars that are produced in the graph. So for example, a bar graph showing monthly attendance of a movie theater. Okay, here's that bar graph. If we go through these questions, which month had the greatest movie attendance? This is January, February, March, April, all the way through December. Okay, if we look at the one who had the greatest attendance, so the tallest bar, this would be in August. Okay, which month had the least? If we look at the shortest bar, it's here in April. And then which month had greater attendance, October or November? So if we compare the two, here's October, here's November. The one that had the greater amount is October. And then number 4, how many guests attended in January? Okay, so if we look at January, it's the very first month, there were 3,000 people who attended. For a pie chart is just a circle that's been divided into the different parts. Okay, so each wedge or slice represents a percentage of the whole. Okay, so for example, half of the circle would be 50%. So if we look at this pie chart here, which has the different kinds of movies at the theater, okay, half of the movies that are at the theater are comedy and dramas. Okay, we can also look at something like this, and we know that this is 1/4 of the pie, or 25%. Okay, so the pie chart to the right shows attendance for different kinds of movies to the same theater we discussed in the bar graph example. So which movie type had the greatest attendance? So which of the slices is the largest? So if we look, drama is the largest, so that means that a greater percent of the people went and saw a drama. Which two types had about the same attendance? So if we look, which two looks the same? Okay, this one's super small. This one is the largest. Okay, then we have these 3 left. If we look, these two look very similar in size. So I would say that romance and comedy had about the same attendance. Then lastly, approximately what percentage of attendance was action? So if we look at this, it is 1/4 of the circle. So about 25% attended the action movies. Okay, for this practice part down here, we're not going to do this in the notes section just because this is something we would have done together in class. You will have practice on how to do this in the assignment that you'll have on creating bar and pie charts. And there's actually a video tutorial that goes along with that. Moving on to the last part of 1.3, line graphs. So they just helped us to see how 2 variables are related. Okay, so a lot of the times whenever we're looking at science-based charts, we're going to have like data tables such as these where we have data in one column and data in another column. Okay, a lot of the times the first column is going to be time, and this would be our x-axis, which is our independent variable, thinking back to the lessons that we had before. Okay, whereas this is going to vary on what it might be. Like for this example, it's number of people. It might be distance traveled, whatever it might be. This is generally going to have numbers associated with it. Okay, so whenever you're using a line graph, generally you're going to have numbers in both of these columns of your data table. Okay, once again, we're not going to do the practice of creating this into a line graph just because you will have practice with that on the actual homework assignment. Make sure you just refer back to that video on how to use this graph creator in order to create that.